So today I wanted to talk about rain days. My name is John. I am one half of the Hardscape Nerds, and Amanda's not with us today. She is out interviewing prospects, actually prospective employees. So yeah, today we're talking about rain days and why hardscapes? Because we scape so hard. And we're done. So this is one of the most difficult things for me as a owner, as a foreman, as the person who's kind of setting the pace in the field, is when to determine when to call off and when to not. Very difficult. Sometimes there's always a fear of making the wrong decision. That's the huge problem, and there's no perfect decision, as you know if you've ever done anything outdoors. Doesn't even have to be for a living, but the part of the problem is the weather forecasts. They're geared for Susie homeowner and just wants to know, is it going to rain for her picnic? And it's not a whole lot of information, because as far as the forecasts are concerned, between sprinkle compared to a half of an inch of rain, 3/4 of an inch of rain, there's not much difference. But when you're working outside, it's a huge difference. So especially when you're about to dig out. So that's part of the problem, is determining when to determine when to make the call. That's so how late can you make the call? And because you don't want to be calling your crew off and they're already on the way to the job site. That doesn't do very good for morale. You want to let them know in advance far enough, but also not so far that you made the wrong decision. Wrong decisions happen. It just happened a couple days ago, and I personally really struggle with rain days, because when it rains 100%, it's 100% chance of rain, and they're calling for over an inch of rain, then I don't feel super stressed out. But I really struggle on the days that are toss-ups. And just this week, we had a day where I called it off thinking that, well, listening to the forecast, there's a giant blob of green moving towards us, and somehow it missed us. It moved north, and we got nothing. So that really affected me mentally. Uh, our worker Angelo, he really helped me the following day, not until the end of the day, but just saying that he really needed that day off. So that helped me a lot, because I feel that when we miss a day, I really feel like I'm letting the homeowner down. I'm letting the crew down. No one's making money. I'm letting myself down, and I don't do well sitting in the office very much. My neighbor has made jokes about that. He just said that he said, John, you go to work so you can relax, and it's actually true. So I am as uptight as I get on a job site. That's when I feel the best, though. I don't feel very comfortable when I should be working. I think I should be working, and I'm not, even though I was still working in the office. I still got stuff done. I always do, but it really beats me up when I almost need blackout curtains when you call off for rain and the inevitable the sun shines through and you can still see it. It drives me absolutely bonkers to have that experience where you're just sitting in here and it's nothing you can do about it because it's too late. It's too late to get started, and there's not much you can do, and the decision's been made. And so that's a struggle. So it's really a being comfortable with making the wrong decision. There is no perfection with it. What I've learned from just meteorologically, that 100% chance of rain, that just simply means that 100% of your particular area will get wet. Doesn't mean anything else, and that's very very frustrating when it comes to that. So they obviously intentionally want to keep it vague because as far as the weather forecasters, because no one wants to be on the hook. So for the most part, they get a bad rap. I think they do remarkably well. So I'm one of the few people that believes that they do a good job. They really let me down on Monday, but I got to move forward. So that's one of the hardest things. I don't know how you guys do it. That's for us. It's how we do it is I will wake up usually between 3 and 4 a.m. I just naturally wake up that early, and it started with snow plowing, and it just I just never went back to, even though I haven't plowed in probably 6 or 7 years, I still stuck with the routine because I realized that I'm a morning person. I mean, it's getting so ridiculous that I'm becoming a night owl. Sometimes I'll wake up at 2 a.m. So yeah, it's getting a little obnoxious, but hey, whatever. If I can't go back to sleep, then I just try and get up here and try and get something done. So, but wake up at around 4 a.m. and watch the weather from the previous day, and then watch it comes on at 4:45, and then I will watch that, and then I will try to watch all 3 of our local news channels to see what they say. And it definitely is not ideal to watch so much. I found that the less I watch the weather, the happier I am, and I kind of adopted the phrase, when in doubt, we go out. So if we're not really sure, I go out. Part of the problem was I had some stuff that I could have done, and that's what's rough, being the person to make the call and also be the one who's looking at estimates and working in the office. You might shy towards, yeah, I could really use this time, instead of trying to focus on the field. And the field is where you actually make your money. No one pays you to sit in an office unless you're a salesman, and that's pretty much the only exception. So yeah, so you have to kind of see what the weather's going to do, but just make a decision, stick with it. It's far better to go to a job and find out the conditions dictate you can't work that day. Everybody walks away feeling that for the most part, most guys feel that it wasn't a waste. I know I feel a lot better. As much as I hate going home at 10 a.m., it definitely feels better than sitting at home and wondering and looking outside every half hour and saying, it's not even raining that bad, or it's not raining at all. So we've recently, in the last few years in Pittsburgh, we've set a few records for record amount of rainfall. It was like the first and the third record rainfalls, and the second had a hurricane dump about 10 inches of rain. So we completely, it was just, for the last few years, we were just getting bombarded with just rain all the time. So we really learned how to work in the rain. And one of the tricks is you have to be careful when you're digging out, but you also have to know how to amend your soils. You almost want to figure on having like number 3 limestone on hand. They're about the size of your fist. if you know you're getting into something that's wet and you're just going to have to be working through it, that's a good idea. Mortar, Type S mortar. Found out you can even use your sawdust from like your IQ saw and from grinding from your block. You can use that to help dry out, but that requires it to be dry afterwards. So that's what you call a chemical amendment. And you obviously want to use fabric beneath your projects to help bridge any gaps, any soft spots that you might have also. So those are some things. I know I'm jumping around, but I didn't really know how to handle it. This is one of the biggest stresses that I have to deal with. I deal with a lot of stuff, and having to make the call on the weather is, to me, the worst. Getting it wrong. The one thing that I found out is if you do it and you go out, then the worst thing that happens is you go home, but you kind of know at least you couldn't have done any more that day. So I've been surprised at how much we actually can work. We had a guy in the Army, and he was in the Army Reserves, and he said that he had a run, I guess a march, scheduled for the weekend, and they canceled it because of the rain. And he said like that we've actually built walls in much worse conditions than that rain. So that made me feel a little bit better that we're at least trying to stay in a step ahead of that. So yeah, it's you get down on yourself and try and keep pushing and pushing, and sometimes the weather and the conditions, they just don't let you go any further. So yeah, that's it. And for this verse, it is over here. I actually put it on my wall, so it's kind of funny that I forgot to look at it last week. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. That is a very good one to just remember. Let's see, it's Ecclesiastes 11:4. That one really helps to shed some light on it. To just don't be afraid, and just you got to move forward. So thank you both for listening, and share this with your in-laws, your outlaws, that friend who doesn't appreciate personal space. They sure won't bother you anymore.